Just a disclaimer before this video begins, it's pretty TED Talky, mostly because this was an English assignment that I made. I like it. It's pretty good with the editing. Probably the best editing I've done so far. Took me a long time to make it. That's because I'm bad at editing. So I hope you all enjoy it. In the book Animal Farm by George Orwell, a pig on a farm has a dream that animals would run the farm and they would all see each other as equals. The pig who had the idea sadly died before he could see his dream become a reality, and the execution of the dream was left to two pigs, Napoleon and Snowball. Together, the farm animals take over the farm and maintain it for a number of years. After the animals had taken over the farm, there was a debate over who should run it. The two contenders were Napoleon and Snowball. During the election, Snowball is run out of the farm and banished by Napoleon because Napoleon sees Snowball as his greatest threat to his rule. After this event, fear spreads throughout the farm and the animals no longer seem like equals. Many other events take place to solidify this assumption from the animals, such as rules being changed and the animals beginning to starve, while the pigs live fat and happy. At the end of the book, the farm animals look into the house and see the pigs dining and celebrating with the farmers that they were once at war with. After this revelation, the oldest horse on the farm says that things were never going to change anyway. The question I hope to answer here is, how did the form of government that was used at Animal Farm become corrupt, and what could lead to its downfall? The system of government seen in George Orwell's Animal Farm is very similar to communism. The basic idea of communism is that the wealth is spread among the people. The idea of communism was made to address class war and tyranny, and was developed by Karl Marx. Other attributes of communism include the sharing of land, and the idea that everybody who lives in the country is equal, no matter political position, class, or historical importance. This idea of communism was used in what is now Russia for a very long time. One of the rulers of communist Russia was Joseph Stalin. Ironically, before the previous ruler of Russia died, Vladimir Lenin, he said to make sure that Stalin does not rise to power. His wishes were obviously ignored, and Stalin rose to power. While Stalin was in power, he was in charge of the Russian military during World War II and fought to take back the land that was invaded by the Nazi regime. After World War II, the people in communist Russia began to starve, as a communist economy could not sustain itself because if one person was poor, then everyone was poor. Stalin, however, was living a life of luxury before he died. After his death, communist leaders still ruled Russia up until 1991. So, as you can see, the biggest example of communism, the USSR, was not able to sustain itself due to how fragile it was under economic pressure. In George Orwell's Animal Farm, the system of government used on the farm became corrupt due to the pigs believing that they were better than the rest of the animals. The pigs believed this because they were more educated, they walked on two legs, and they were in charge of the farm with absolute power. The only reason the farm's government lasted so long was because of outside influence. So, from these examples, you can see that communism cannot work independently and will collapse with the slightest bit of economic pressure.